Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Glorious Life on Wheels. Oh my goodness, we have a lot to discuss today. Let me know, I'm in, behind me is some light, so I don't know if you guys were able to see me as well as I want you to. So let me know, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me and if you can see me. I had posted it, for some reason I had this posted at 3:55, I don't know. Somehow I hit the wrong thing, but it is 3 o'clock in our regular time. Same place, same channel, same station every Saturday. So let's see let me move this over here so I can read this a little better. Who is over here in the house already? Hey, CW Style, first one in the house today. And hey, Nora, thank you, thank you. Yes, hit 94,000. Go figure. An old lady who doesn't know what she's doing hit 94,000. It's amazing, but I give all the glory to God. Oh my gosh. Say, hey, trying and doing. Hey, nothing beats a failure but a try. Hey, RV Quilt Quest Rhonda is in the house. Hello, hello. And Rebecca, okay, thank you. Can see me and you can hear me. Okay. I hope to bless half of as many people as who have blessed me. I tell you, I have been richly blessed in my life and so many people to thank. So if I can just pay it forward, I'm that's my goal. But hi Adele, how are you? Oh, Travel Dreamer 46. We got some new folks in the house today. Oh my goodness. And we're gonna my motivation. Oh yeah, well, what is your motivation? Oh my goodness. Hello, Nancy Strickland. Hello, hello. Brenda Berner, one of my OGs, original Globies, is in the house. Hello, hello. And as well as Adele and Nora, of course, my extraordinary moderator, one of them. Hello, Lori Putnam. How are you? And Boomer in the Burbs. Hello, hello. One of my regulars. Hey, Lisa from Outdoor Dash Travels. You made it. Yes, I'm glad you did. And Sheila Holmes. Oh my goodness. I am over here. Jessica's with her little boyfriend at the movies. Whew. What can I say? So hopefully they'll enjoy it while I do my live. Hello, Beverly. Hello from Oklahoma City. Oh my goodness, you're used to some tornado warnings, so you probably have a good understanding what it's like to be in the midst of Mother Nature's vengeance. Oh my goodness. Hey, Sheila. Oh, from Waynesville, North Carolina. How close is that, Sheila, to what has been happening over in Asheville and that area? Also, how close is that to Tennessee? Because Tennessee, Helene was a multi-state thing with Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia. Uh, um, I even hear maybe parts of South Carolina. It's wow. Unbelievable. Hey, Van Girl Cheryl, how's it going? Oh my goodness, everyone's saying hello to everyone. Hi, Liza, how are you doing? There is Nora's niece, Annie and Spencer in the house. Oh my goodness, we've got the crew here today. And Rose Grace, Linda Stokes, thank you. By the end of the month, what kind of van would be best to start off? I'm on a limited budget. Well, that's hard to say because there's so many factors that go into play. Do you have medical issues or conditions that would make it very hard on you not to be able to stand up? Do you have back problems where if you were always bent over and hunched over, it would be a problem? Those are some of the things you really have to take into consideration. Oh, Sheila, you were there yesterday? Oh, we'll have to talk. You will have to explain that. Oh my goodness. Wow. Where were you yesterday, Sheila? Oh my goodness. Yeah, Linda, hit me up at gloriouslifeonwheels@gmail, and I can answer some more in-depth questions, but there are a lot of considerations you have to take, things you have to take into consideration when you're deciding. Hey, Van Girl Cheryl from Alberta, Canada. Oh, I love Canada. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Hey, Dreamer. Hello, hello. One of my other great moderators, Lisa from Outdoor Dash Travel, is greeting everyone. Oh, my goodness. Jackie McDonald saying hello. Always at work. Oh, well, one day, maybe, Jackie, you'll be somewhere regularly that you want to be. That would be fabulous, wouldn't it? Simply Being Me is saying hi from Las Vegas. Oh, my goodness. You know, October and April are, I think, the best months in Las Vegas. Beautiful weather. Who else is in the house? Nancy 3. Oh my goodness, says to answer Carol's question as to why people don't leave, I think I can't afford to and have nowhere to go. Some people are just stubborn. But we're going to talk, we're certainly going to get into that. We're going to get into that, and we're going to talk more too about why it is so important to have a tribe. It can be a tribe that's nearby, neighbors. You really need tribes everywhere, these days, quite frankly. But we're certainly going to talk about that, Nancy. Absolutely. Hello, John. How's it going? Hello, hello. Hey, Lithy. I always get this wrong. Litha. It says hello, hello. I love to hear the live stream, but YouTube is giving a solid black screen. Oh my goodness. Maybe I can catch you another time. I tried 9 times to refresh. No. Well, maybe you can watch the replay. Hopefully that you'll be able to do that. Rose Gray says Lindy's healing fast. So happy. Yes, Lindy is on the mend. She's going to be released from the I don't know what to call it. It's supposed to be a rehab, but it's not really. It's kind of a senior citizen place to go where you're not able to take care of yourself quite yet. But she's going to be going to her son's house, I understand, probably this Tuesday. I haven't talked to her in about a week. I've been kind of not trying to bug her a lot, but I do plan to reach out to her today or tomorrow. But yes, I'm what she went through, it's not only physical healing, but it's also mental and emotional healing because she went through a lot. I mean, a lot, so hey, Simply Being Me. Hello, hello. I like that name. Hey, Liddell. Hello, hello. How are you doing? Thank you, Nora. I always forget to mention that. Could you give me a thumbs up? For whatever reason, it helps the algorithm. I don't understand all that stuff, but it does. So Van Girl Cheryl, hello, hello, says I had to move into my van full time. Had to. I was prepared though. Van Girl Cheryl, more and more people are moving into their vans, and more older women. That really is a phenomena that's occurring, and who are living on just Social Security or very, very limited funds. And I'm going to do a video. I plan to release it today. I plan to have the video that I did earlier today released yesterday, but I had technical difficulties. So I'm going to release a, fingers crossed, hope to release a video Monday of what I think is one of the most dangerous places. It's not something where you would expect, but I think it's one of the places that solo female van dwellers and nomads are most vulnerable and most at risk at being harmed. And it's a place that seems so benign but it's a place that everyone, I believe, is at risk. And I'm going to share why I say that. I'm going to share um, some the reasons I think it's risky, and I'm going to share what I think are some things and tips that you can do to hopefully lessen that risk. But yeah, stay tuned Monday. But check the video that I did today. I was showing that in Milton, it didn't come in as hard as they thought, the initial surge. But what's happening now in areas that weren't even evacuation areas, the waters are rising rapidly. And that is really posing as great a threat as the initial strike of the hurricane. It was so sad. They had a senior citizen home where 133 residents were located. They had even taken residents from one area that was in the evacuation zone, moved them over to that senior citizen's home, and then during the night, the water started rising up. And at midnight, they turned off all 911 because they weren't coming out to answer because it was too dangerous. And those people had to sit in water up to their knees for hours from about midnight on until rescue started picking them up. If you look over on YouTube, there are pictures of it. And a lot of those, most of the people were in wheelchairs, older people in wheelchairs who were not mobile. And a lot of them didn't even have their shoes on. Their shoes had gotten soaked. I mean, they were sitting in water for hours. It was just tragic, tragic. I think we're just going to have to rethink, um, the way that things are done. Even in Florida, areas that were not evacuation areas are now going to have to become that. It's a new day, a new day. I know a lot of people say no climate change, whatever you want to call it. I don't care if you want to call it climate change or whatever, but there's more serious and more devastating natural occurrences happening, and we have to adapt and adjust, if we're going to survive. But hey, but Van Girl, sure, I'd like to know more about what's happening with you and your van. Do hit me up over on gloriouslifeonwheels@gmail.com on my email, and I'd like to talk with you more about that, Van Girl, Cheryl, because you say you were prepared. You had to. I'm wondering how long you had in advance to prepare, how long you knew in advance that you were going to have to move, and what you started doing to prepare. I'm curious to know that because I have so many people who reach out to me, especially older senior women who are saying, I'm scared. I know I'm going to probably not be able to pay my rent the next time it's increased, and I need to know what to do. So yeah, I would love to talk to you. Hey, CW Styles, it's good to see you, and thank you for sharing. Yes, dangerous floodwaters. Anyone who's there, get out. When authorities tell you to get out, for crying out loud. Hey, Emerald Coast Gardens, Florida. New here, but love your videos and philosophy. Tribes, yes, absolutely. At times like this is when you really understand the value and the meaning of having a tribe. Hey, Nancy 3 says absolutely yes to having a tribe. By the way, the new Apple iOS has capability to do text, phone by satellite. Oh, really? Oh, you have to have an iPhone to 14 or later. Okay, thank you. I will check into that because I think anymore it's important to have some kind of satellite. I know I have one of those crank radios. My older brother sent me one. Um, and that is important to have too. But I think I'm really thinking of getting a license to operate one of those ham radios because it's my understanding it only costs $35 and it's very easy to get, is my understanding. So I'm not only going to, what is that noise? Holy moly. My understanding is that it's very easy to get, and they have a class. You're not required to take the class, but I think I'm going to take the class so I can really understand. Hey, Donald, my brother's in the house, my younger brother. Hello, hello. Don's in the house. Turner's on the road. Hello. We're going to have your miss your live again. We are so sorry. I understand. How is your father-in-law doing? I'm praying for him and for you to have strength as you go through this ordeal. Turner's on the road. They have a channel. Go over and support them. Yeah, she put out a video today, Tuesday. She's pretty emotional for sure. Okay, I didn't see the video today. I saw the video, was it yesterday? Where she was sharing that she's going to be released. Yeah, it was pretty emotional. When I talked to her shortly after, right after she got into the rest home, she told me, she said, had I known, I never would have gone through this. Um, I mean, I'm not going to be really explicit, but they did a lot. They did a lot to get into her heart and crack ribs. And I mean, it was just sternum. I'll let her go into the detail, but they did a lot, a lot. And she said it has been an ordeal, but thank the Lord she's coming through it and seems to be on the mend. But it will be a long time for Lindy. Hey, Amy, one of the holy, my sister in love. Hello, hello, Amy. Sheila says there's also a flowering garden there gone. Oh, I tell you, we're gonna get to this in a minute. Hey, thank you for the thumbs up, simply being me. All right, Van Girl, sure, 62. Okay, but you're loving it. So it has not turned into a nightmare for you. That's good to hear. That is very good to hear. Are you gonna be in Quartzsite this winter, Van Girl, sure? Because I would certainly like to meet up with you. Hey, Triathlete New York, I haven't seen you in a minute. Hello, hello. Oh, no water power. Yeah, yeah. Everyone so far, how survived what I can from pictures. Oh my goodness. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, goodness, goodness. Everyone's saying hello. Donald saying hello. I think Donald, I gotta make Donald's not one of my moderators. How did that happen? I'm gonna go in here and try and make him a moderator while I'm talking to you guys, if I can get this done. But I'm not good at multitasking. So this may be a little challenging for me to do this. If I can find him. Find him. Okay. All right, let's see. Live chat, live chat. Okay. I've got here and I'm add as a moderator. Okay. Okay, I think you're a moderator now, Donald. I think. We'll see if it okay. So that's what it says. Anyhow, hey alias Don. Uh-oh.
We'll see
Uh-oh. Oops, I have my phone. Sorry. Hey, alias Don Waters Watson. Hello, hello. Unfortunately, many people stay in danger, fearful and protective of the consumer. You know, I understand when everything you have is in your home. I understand, but you're not going to be able to protect it if your life is is gone. You know, and oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting video. It's going to be an interesting video, Van Girl Cheryl, on where I think it's going to be somewhere I don't think anyone's going to think of, but it's somewhere that I think is one of the most dangerous places and where you're most vulnerable. And I'm going to tell you some things I think to do. Sheila says trees were snapped in half. Yep, lay over with the roots of the tree sticking up in the air. But with all that devastation, houses are still standing. Some are still standing, but some were taken off of their foundations and whipped away. It just, and what's so crazy too is with the tornadoes. Yes. I can't right now. Sorry, I'm in the middle of something. Thank you. Okay. Um, hmm. I wonder, should I never know when someone comes up, because I've seen people who are in parking lots, and I'm not kidding, who are around asking for money. And then a little while later, I will see the same person driving off in like a $60,000 car. So I'm always wondering, I don't know. Anyhow, now I'm going to be wondering and watching this lady to try and figure out what I should or shouldn't do. Oh my goodness. You know, I don't even know what to say. But now I'm distracted and still I can't get my mind off of her. Uh, all right, let me get back on task and hopefully she'll be here when I finish and I can decide what to do. But CW Style says, can you imagine not knowing what's inside that water? They said bacteria. Yeah, there was someone who in one of the floods, I don't remember which hurricane it was, they died because of the bacteria. I guess they had a cut or something, but there was bacteria in the water which caused an infection and they died as a result of that infection. If I can find that story, I will air it for you guys if you're interested. But yeah, I mean, so, and in Florida, there's not only bacteria, there's poisonous snakes, there's gators in some areas. And as in my video that I aired today, that was from, I think it was from CNN, they showed where the water is so high that as the rescue boats and rafts are going through, sometimes they're going over very dangerous things like fences or even cars, and they don't know that they're underneath there because the water is murky. So it is very, very dangerous, Um, Donald says, that's exactly right, alias Don. But folks need to realize that things can be replaced, but a person cannot. That's, I mean, I think we have all probably at some point done something maybe to save a material item and put ourselves at risk, and then later thought, what was I thinking? But in the moment, people who someone comes up to try and take something from them, and they fight instead of just giving it over, and then they lose their life. I mean, at the I think your instinct is to protect what's yours. That's your natural instinct. But sometimes you've got to go against that natural instinct to actually protect something much more valuable, and that's your life. But Sheila says, I also went the day before to Maggie Valley. It's very good despite what was originally put out. Okay, all right, well, that's good to hear. Triathlete says, lake rising near me, hate hurricanes. Yeah, it's often what gets people is not the hurricane, it's the rising water, like what happened in North Carolina. All those people moved away from the coast thinking, well, we'll be safe from hurricanes because we're away from the coast. They're what, 200-300 miles away, but they're near rivers and creeks and other water sources that went up. One was typically rose, I think 6 feet was the highest it's ever been, and it rose to, I think it was 20 or 22 foot. So when you've got that kind of water rising above the normal level, everything is being torn out, and the power of that water is just unbelievable. The rushing water is well, you got to remember, water weighs 8 pounds per gallon, and think how many thousands of gallons rushing down. And as the water's going down the mountain, it's picking up debris and trees and boulders, and it's just like having I don't know what come against you. What can stand in the path of that? Nothing. um Linda Smith says, it's Bible prophecy being fulfilled. It very well may be, Linda. It very well may be. I'm telling you. Okay, yeah, do that, Van Girl Cheryl. Alias Don says, to all the rescue and recovery workers and all other support staff, I know exactly the challenges they're respectively from decades of experience in the professions. Well, thank you for all your service and decades in the profession. And I bet you've seen a lot of this. And I'm wondering, what do let me go through a few comments, and then we're going to get to the topic of the day. Sheila says, I lived in Maggie Valley for several years. I was devastated when I first heard this. Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine that happening to somewhere where you had friends and established relationships and a part of a community? Oh my goodness. Hey, Martin One, hello, hello. Uh, Triathlete New York says, can't get gas, need to wait 3 hours when you find gas. My mom has no power. Oh, yeah, yeah. One of the things that I'm going to suggest in my video that I'm going to do Monday, is that I don't care whether you're in an area that's imminent to having a natural disaster occur or not. I think as a general practice, you should never let your gas tank get below half. And I'm at the point that I'm thinking I don't even want it to get below 3/4, because we live in California where we're prone to having earthquakes. So we could have no power, we could have down wires, we could have all kinds of things, fires. Earthquakes, you tend to have more fires, I think, than in floods. Although I'll tell you, some of the electric vehicles and Teslas have been exploding. There's something, I forget, it's a term that it's called when that lithium battery is exposed to salt water, it explodes and catches on fire. So they had some houses that survived the hurricane, but burned down because of they had a lithium battery that caught fire and exploded and burned the house down. So, oh my gosh, they were warning people, if you have a Tesla or any other EV, to move them to higher grounds and don't park them near your house or anyone else's. I mean, who would think of all these things, in a disaster? Hey, Chef Santa, hello, hello. Oh, I'm so happy to see you here. How are you? Oh, you're home. Oh, yes, yay! And getting stronger every day. Unfortunately, still walking with a walker. That's well, hey, you're home. So you're headed in the right direction. I hope everyone's safe and having a good week, and God bless. And God bless you too, Chef Santa. I'm so glad to see you are here and that you're home. Chef Santa is one of my moderators too. Oh my goodness. No problem, Van Girl Cheryl. Half the people call me Gloria, so I'm used to it. So I don't even correct it most of the time now. Uh, a lot of people don't want to leave their homes because of fear, are thinking they can ride the storm out. Well, let's yeah. Triathlete says I have to need to chart phone and car talk next week. Okay, all right, triathlete. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope everything goes well. You can get power back up with your mom and everything. But Sheila says, I also lived in several places in Florida. This is very upsetting. It is. It is. Hey, Kentucky Lucky. I used to live in Kentucky in Owensboro, right? Not too far from Evansville, Indiana. Says, I grew up in Florida, Sarasota, and Anna Marie Island. First of all, too many people live on or near the beach. I would agree. I would agree, given what's happening. Add shrinking swamps. Yep. Yes, it's get an amateur radio license and a basic 10 meter. What's a basic 10 meter? See, I'm truly an amateur. I don't know squat, but I plan on learning some. But what is it? A basic 10 meter? Is that 10 basic 10 channels? But all right, so let's get to the topic that we're talking about today, and that is, why do you think that people stay despite the Tampa, Florida um, mayor said, if you stay, you will expire. You know, that's what she said. Um, People were saying from the emergency management, if you're going to stay, please write your name and your birth date on your arm or your leg. So when we find you, we will know who you are. I mean, can you get more explicit? Can you get more than that? Now, I understand. Now, I'm not talking about people who can't leave because they don't have the physical capacity to leave on their own. I'm not talking about people who may not have the mental capacity, may have the mentality of a child. But I am talking about the majority of people who knew and said some of the reasons that I heard on one channel that I listen to sometimes. It's called Morning Millionaire. He had some people come on that talked about why they were staying. And one guy said, well, he and his pregnant girlfriend, now his girlfriend was pregnant. So his child, his unborn child, he said, well, I guess I'm just stubborn. I'm from Florida, and I've railed out these before, and I'm just stubborn. I'm thinking, who risks the life of their child because they're stubborn? He goes, I guess I'm just hard-headed. Then I saw an elderly gentleman who was in a mobile home park, and he said, well, I just wanted to stay, and I thought maybe I could save my home. And he said, I was wrong. I made a big mistake. But I was thinking, why would you think you, a mere mortal, a mere man, a mere person, could save your house from a hurricane or a tornado? Huh? I'm just thinking, what would make you think that? And, I was talking to Nora earlier today, and we were talking, and she was saying, it's just people are not thinking rationally. And I guess I'm just such a sequential, logical, rational person. Give me facts, give me information, prove it, that when you tell me things like, I'm going to save my house from a hurricane, I'm like, what? Or I'm going to save my house from a tornado? Okay. I'm just befuddled. What do you guys think? Cheryl says, a senior moment. I don't know. I don't know. Uh, hey, Lauren, hello. Can you run Lindy's GoFundMe on your live? Lindy has not run it. All her energy is going. Yes, if you just go, I don't know how to run it, but if one of my moderators knows, would you? If you just go and even put in, okay, let me just show you. If you just even go in and put in, just say, Lindy Moore GoFundMe. It'll show. It'll show up. Do you see? It'll show the fundraiser for Lindy Moore. Just say Lindy Moore fundraiser, or just say GoFundMe Lindy Moore, or put in Lindy Moore GoFundMe, and it will come up. And then when you do it, it'll come up to her. It'll come up to her thing. So just put Lindy Moore GoFundMe. And thank you so much, Lauren, for mentioning that. Anyone who has not contributed, who wants to help Lindy pay for what is going to be outrageous, and I mean outrageous, medical bills, plus the rehab and the senior citizen, plus medication. It's going to be in the tens and tens of thousands, if not more. So anyone who wants to contribute to the GoFundMe, if you just could put in Lindy Moore, Moore, GoFundMe, that will come up, and you can send her. Or if you go on any one of her videos, and if you put in, let's see, Lava Lindy, if you go to any of her videos, and let's see, okay, I'm going to go to a video. If you go to any of her,
from an SUV, more than anything.
Okay, I don't usually skip, but I'm going to do it this time. And if you go to more, and then go down here and go to about, where it says about down here, it will show her address, and you can. Her address is 1520. Can one of my moderators put this in, maybe? 1520 East Covell. That's East, C like Carol, O, V like Victor, ELL Boulevard, Suite B like Boy 5-345, Davis, California 95616. But it's better just go on to her any of her videos and hit more, and then go down to the bottom and hit about, and you can come up and you can send it directly to her. So and the GoFundMe link will also be below her address on her site. But just hit it again, Lindy Moore GoFundMe, and it'll pop right up to the GoFundMe for her. Thank you again, Lauren. But be anxious for nothing. But yes, CW Style 3. Yes, a radio can help you get help. I think we're living in times now that it's necessary to charge in car. Triathlete says, I had to evacuate now. Soon power and water by me. Stay safe. You stay safe too, Triathlete. Stay safe. We're going to be thinking about you, and oh my goodness, let me know. Email me and let me know you're okay. But stay safe out there, Triathlete. Oh my goodness. Lindy's GoFundMe link. I don't know how to put it up, Donald, but just put up her name. One of my moderators put up Lindy Moore, Moore, and then GoFundMe. If you just put that in, it'll go to her link. Chef Santa says, hey folks, we need some thumbs up. 9 and 30. Thank you. Yes, can we get all 91 thumbs up, please? All 91 thumbs up. Thank you. Oh, your mom's going to get power Tuesday. How long has your mom been without power, Triathlete? Oh my goodness. Yeah, you could be. Well, even the Red Cross suggests that you have at least 3. I did a thing a while back with the Red Cross, and they recommend you have a minimum of 3 days supplies. I think it should be no less than a week, but I believe in more than that, but I don't think it should be less than 7 days supplies. But yeah, back to why Oh, okay. You're going to go to courtside next year when you build a nest egg. Okay. Have you considered doing a YouTube channel, Van Girl Cheryl? If you're interested, let me know. Um, but I'm just wondering why people would risk their children. Their children. That's what I don't get. You want to be foolish for your own life, but your children's lives? Sheila says, I'm okay living in my car. I went through Smoky Mountain State Park, Gatlinburg to Cherokee into Maggie Valley and Waynesville, North Carolina. I'm continuing to go further south to Florida. Oh, you want to go to Florida right now? Yipes. I think I might wait in South Carolina or somewhere for a while before I went to Florida, because it's going to be a mess in most places there, unless you have family that you're going to go stay with or something. But let me just also address the necessity of having a tribe. Now, I understand that there are people who said, well, I just can't, I can't afford to evacuate. Well, in many of those areas and counties that were they anticipated would be hardest hit, they opened shelters. And those shelters, they even let you bring your pets. So it wasn't like you had to leave your precious four-legged, children behind. They allowed you to bring your pets and get a hold of this. They had buses that were going to pick up people. So and someone asked me, and was it you, Donald, or someone that said, well, why would you go to a evacuation center if it's just on first level floor 2? Well, that's a good point, although some of those I think were in reinforced locations that were higher. But here's the other reason I would go to a shelter if there was an evacuation in order: because they know where you're at. They know if something happens, they know, hey, at this shelter, we've got 300 people. We've got to get first responders over there. If you're in an evacuation center and you've stayed at your house, people don't know you're at your house. They don't know until they come through looking for you, or until you're on the roof trying to get their attention or something. You may perish with no one even knowing you were there. At least if you're in an evacuation center, people know to go rescue you. That's what I would say for people who say, hey, well, it's no better than where I'm at. Yeah, it is better, because you have resources there. They typically will have water, food, and other things and first aid kits. So, and you're around other people. So, sometimes you're not as scared as you would be sitting in your house with the water rising alone. You know, that's just my opinion, and you know what opinions are. Everyone has at least one, but like some other parts of the body. But um, I just think that I think it's I don't know. I just think it's foolish. Um, um, yes, Linda Smith says, I really do thank God for my life and blessings daily. Yes, yes. Yeah, it's good to know Don's a moderator. I thought he was all along. Um, uh, got to keep your head on a swivel out there. Yes, Annie, you do. You really do. And that's what I'm going to talk about in the video on Monday. We're living in times that people are becoming more and more desperate. And just think about it. Even a very decent person who has children who may be starving in a grid down situation, they might do things that they would normally never even consider doing under normal circumstances. So if you've got decent people who might do off the wall things, can you imagine what indecent and evil people will do? So we just more and more need to have our head on a swivel, and you need to have a group of people who a lot of people said, well, I don't have anywhere to go. Well, I would say if you live in Florida or any of these other areas that are prone to disasters, You need to have somewhere outside of your area some person who you have made some connection, some friendship with, that you can get on the phone, call, and say, hey, can I come park in your driveway? Maybe not permanently, but until this is over, can I come park in your driveway? We need to, you know, hey, even in the Bible, God gave Adam a mate because he said it was not good for man to be alone. So it's not good to go through devastating times alone. It just is not. In the Bible, for those of you who believe in the Bible, it talks about how, what is it, a two or a three string cord is so much stronger than a one strand. And all of these things that speak to the value and the safety that is having a tribe and having other people that you can trust on, or trust in and depend on. So, all right. So let me ask you, um, we God says also sometimes people work in pairs. Yes, yes. And also sometimes they will have a woman with a baby come up and knock on your door. And there's a channel that I watch. It's called Lead Farmer 73. And he's a prepper, and he really talks about not just prepping with equipment and materials and food, but prepping in learning different skills, like learning how to start a fire, learning how to cut down and build a shelter. He talks about having different skills, acquiring different skills that you may need. Because what if all of your prepping, that you had all this food and everything, and a flood comes and washes it all away, and you're going to have to start all over with nothing, trying to survive. I also think I think that everyone should have a go bag ready at all times. Whether you live in a disaster area that's prone to disasters or not, I think you should have a go bag. And if you want, I'll do a video on what I think should be in the go bag. But at the very least, you should have one of those water straws that you can suck water in and get the bacteria and stuff out, because you can go many days without food, but you can only go a few days without water. So I think you should have a go bag that at a moment's notice, you know where it is. It's like right in your closet, right in your pantry, right even near the front door. And if you have to, and have a go bag for every person in your household, and even for your pets, have a go bag that you can grab. I think preferably probably a backpack you can grab and just take off if you have to. I have my cars loaded, and I, again, now don't get below a certain level of gas. Um, let's see. Hey, Miss Annette. Hello, hello. Um, let's see. Yeah, yeah. Hope everyone is okay. I actually was on Red's live the other day. She is okay. Red is doing good. Um, thank you. There, Lisa dropped the GoFundMe for Lindy. Lisa is my technical consultant. Whenever I don't know something, I'm calling Lisa. Lisa, help me. I can't do this. I can't do that. So Lisa is my technical expert that I go to. Thank you so much for dropping that GoFundMe for Lindy, Lisa. So Outdoor Dash Travel, Lisa dropped the GoFundMe. Sheila says the Chimney Rock, yeah, Chimney Rock was destroyed. And they just raised the American flag. Wow. Wow. The Americans' fighting spirit is hard to take down. Shelby, hi, Shelby. Shelby Van Gogh says, I evacuated Hurricane Helene in Asheville and went to where the fire department told me to go. However, it was flooded. Oh my goodness. I was then stranded because I couldn't get to the shelter that Red Cross told me. This is just unprecedented, Shelby. It is, it is, they had no expectation that the flood would do what it did in North Carolina. I hope you're okay now. Are you safe now and in a safe spot now, Shelby? They just did not have experience with this kind of flooding in that area. And again, that's why so many people moved to that area, because they thought they were in a safe zone where they wouldn't have to worry about the kind of flooding that they would experience on the coast. And little did they know, they went right into the eye of the storm based on all. And then when you're in a mountain and all, it's like, like you have a snowball that's up at the top of the mountain. By the time it gets going down, it was just like an avalanche. It was like an avalanche of mud and debris and everything. And it was just terrible. But I hope you're okay, Shelby. Let us know in here if you're okay. Yeah, right. Uh, Sheila says, I went through several hurricanes, but I've never seen anything like this. I don't think anyone has seen anything like this that happened in North Carolina, quite honestly, Sheila. And then they said that this is the highest number, if I'm not mistaken, correct me someone if I'm wrong, but I think they said in Florida this was the highest number of tornadoes spawned by a hurricane in the history of Florida. So, yeah, Spirit Wind View says amen, not below 3/4. Yeah, my old number was a half a tank, but now I'm going to 3/4. I just to be on I'd rather err on the side of caution. Hey, Rhonda Barnett, hello. Uh Van Girl Cheryl says, totally agree on the gas tank. Fill it and then drive as little as possible. Yes. Now I want to get to the second question that I have. And this is more controversial. Why? Well, no, not why, but do you think that first responders should be required or to go out and risk their lives? Not to go out because, they're going to go out and they should go out, but to risk their lives in dangerous conditions to save people who refused to evacuate. Now, I'm not talking about children. They didn't have a choice. But what do you think about that? I have mixed feelings. Honestly, I have mixed feelings. Let's see. Sheila says, I also have quite a few friends in Florida because of all my moves. Move number 55. Oh, my goodness. And you lose Delaware on Sunday. Wow. Sorry, I hit some button and knocked myself off. What can I say? Oh my goodness, sorry. I know I've missed quite a bit of comments. I'm going to try and catch up with some of them. Um, oh wow, goodness. Um, if I don't get your comment, it's because I am going slow and I'm going back in now. And where I'm coming back in, I've bypassed a lot of comments after I knock myself out. So if I don't get your comment and it's really important to you that I read it, please put it back in and I'll try and get to it. I'm over where Sheila says every day things are improving. It's a miracle to Jesus. Yeah, things are improving. Margaret Herrick says, I lived in Cedar Key, Florida for 36 years. When the county and city said to evacuate, we did. That's smart, Margaret. What can I say? That is smart, and that's what you should do. But again, the question on the table right now is, do you think that first responders should sacrifice their own safety to rescue people who refuse to evacuate? Boomer in the Burb says, it seems to me that it's difficult for people to see themselves in real peril. Movies may have left us slightly disconnected from reality. Every home should carry, every home should carry a life jacket. I agree with that. Absolutely. That's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up, Boomer in the Burbs. Hey, Kaliano Pacifica. Hello. Thank goodness you're okay, Shelby Van Gogh. Yes. I hope you're in a much safer place. So, Shelby, did you come in and tell everyone you're okay now? Thank you. If you did, I missed that. So thank you, Kaliana, for mentioning that. If not now, says, how were the slushier drinks? Okay, I missed that. I don't know. That's exactly, Donald, that's exactly what you're supposed to do, Margaret. Absolutely. Many of your friends had huge damage and destruction 2 weeks ago. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Well, many people now are homeless. And quite frankly, I think there are going to be more and more people now living in RVs, vans, and even cars, based on what's happened in North Carolina if they don't have family. And a lot of people don't have family that they can move in with, or their family are worse off than they are. Uh, yeah, I feel bad for families that have children and they're scared when they see the. Can you imagine having children and seeing the water coming and rising? It was heartbreaking. The grandparents. There was a mom, her parents, and her 6 year old, 6 or 8 year old. I think he was 6 year old son. That the water rose so quickly, and this is an area they weren't expecting it. This wasn't somewhere where they were told to evacuate, and they climbed up to the roof, but the water had so saturated the roof that the roof caved in, and the grandparents and the 6 year old perished. And the mom, they were interviewing the mom and her sister, and it was just heartbreaking, just heartbreaking. Yeah, a life straw. Yeah, the life straw, Shelby. Um, oh, yeah, Sheila says your cousins are okay. Um, Yeah, I watch Wayfair Traveler and Canadian Preppers. Yeah, I like Canadian Prepper, and I like City. I like my two favorite are, well, I like Canadian Prepper, Lead Farmer 73, and City Prepper. I love City Prepper. I think he used to be a missionary, but I love those three are my favorite preppers. Outdoor Dash Travel says, I have my bug out bag. Totally worth it. Yep. Yep. You need a bug out bag. Reg says she surrounds herself with people who take from her. I don't, so I don't understand it, but it is what it is. It must be some family member, I'm guessing, or friend. Uh, Sheila says, I was so overwhelmed yesterday, but things are getting better. Wow, wow. Annie and Spin said, my camper van is my go bag. Well, hey, that's a good way to have it too, because you got that's one of my go bags, but I even have more a go bag. I have my campers outfitted, but I actually have also a special go bag too that I keep on my person should I run out of gas or something, because even on 3/4 of a tank, and even if I get to fill up, I can only go so far, and that's not enough to get me out of the area. I may have to get out and hike. So I have a go bag that I can grab and take with me. You know, um, Donald's asking Margaret if she's in North Carolina. We're not going to go into exactly what city if Margaret's not comfortable with that, but it sounds like you are in North Carolina, Margaret. Um, yeah, life straw. I have the life straw. Hey, intentional frugality and budgeting. A lot of people I watch on TikTok couldn't leave because they had no money and or had farm animals they could not evacuate. Well, there were in Florida at least. Now, I don't know about North Carolina. North Carolina is a whole different situation. North Carolina, people there did not know, and they didn't have warning that it was going to be that bad. They had never experienced anything like that. Florida, they were talking about this for a week, and each day as it got closer and closer, they were giving more dire warnings, saying, get out, get out, get out, saying, we have these evacuation centers set up. We'll send buses for you. I mean, in Florida, they learned from what happened during Milton. They learned from what happened with Helene, and they really, I have to give it to the federal government, to DeSantis, to local sheriffs, local mayors in Florida. They they did what they needed to do, at least those in charge. Now, people who were in homes, a lot of them didn't, but the authorities in Florida, they watched the devastation from North Carolina, and I think they decided we're going to do everything we can to prevent that from happening here. And I have to give kudos. I say FEMA, federal government, local government, the governor, everyone in Florida, I think pulled it together. You know, I was really impressed. Um, but a lot of people, you know, if you can leave, I'm sorry, you're going to have to leave your farm animals. Okay, let me ask you something. If you perish, how is that going to help your farm animals? You know, and it doesn't take a lot of money to drive maybe a few miles away, or to drive, to an area, it because once people didn't. I was talking to Donald the Sunday before Milton hit, and it was supposed to hit late Wednesday night, early into Thursday morning. And we were talking, and I said, you know what? We were talking on Sunday. I said, people need to leave now. It's Sunday. They need to leave now. If they don't leave now, they're not going to be able to get gas, because you've got millions of people who've been ordered to evacuate. You can't wait until, even because he was saying, well, I think if they leave Monday night or Tuesday, I was like, no, they need to leave Sunday, and that's what happened. Gas stations ran out of gas. The freeways were clogged, where you were, even if you had gas, you were using it all up and running out before you could get to safety. And then at 11 o'clock on Wednesday, they shut down all the bridges. So you couldn't go across any of the bridges. So when they have an evacuation order, I'd say if you live in an area that's prone to flooding, leave even before, because if you wait even for a couple days before, you won't be able to get out. But Vaughn's in a row says, our go bag is my van. We can exit in under 5 minutes. Hey, that's the way to go. Rox says, my old neighbor in St. Petersburg couldn't leave. She has 12 cats. Well, it would be a shame for her and the cats to perish. I know it would be hard to pick what cats you want to take with you, but I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. Would I want to leave Cuddles behind? Absolutely not. But if I had to choose between saving myself and my daughter, and I could not take Cuddles, I would try and figure out a way to take Cuddles. But if I couldn't, as heartbreaking as it would, I would save my child. I know that may sound cold to some people, but it won't do my dog good for us all to perish. That's not going to, if we all perish together, how does that make it better for him? I don't know. I don't know what to say. Intentional frugality and budgeting says, seems like the response for these hurricanes are not up to the standards. I think this one, I think it was. I think that what is now, they have now learned in Florida. I think for Milton it was. I was critical of the response for Helene, but I believe from what I've seen from Milton, I think it was a whole different show. And I think what they have learned is areas that you thought would not flood will flood. So they have now learned that. And I hope and I believe that based on what they saw in Helene, they will now declare a wider evacuation area. They're learning. These storms are different. Look at the tornadoes that were spawned. They're different. And so you have to make the adjustment if you're going to survive, and if you're going to help other people to survive as those in charge. Wow. Margaret says he lived in a house that was built in 1884. I bet that was beautiful, beautiful workmanship. Susie Aspen says 126 tornado warnings. Wow. And I think tornado warnings and dozens upon dozens of actual tornadoes. Yep, it did, Rox. It got hammered. Yeah, that was something that was a lot different. Shelby says, I lost my camper and my job. Wow. I worked at Ashland East KOA. Oh my goodness. Wow. I came to Florida and I had the stress of Hurricane Milton. I'm in North Florida, so okay physically, but mentally devastated. I have nowhere to go. I am so sorry to hear that, Shelby. Have you reached out to, now they're saying that FEMA is now accepting applications for aid. So, and don't listen to some things that have been said. If you apply to FEMA, they'll take your house. Check this out for yourself, please. That's all I'm going to say. But FEMA is giving aid, financial aid. So please do get in contact with FEMA, because they're giving grants and they're giving money and they're giving FEMA trailers. So sign up for that, Shelby. Please do sign up for that. Yeah. I imagine a lot of people who worked at mobile home parks that were destroyed, or KOAs or campgrounds, actually lost their jobs and their homes. I'm so sorry to hear that, Shelby. So sorry to hear that. But do reach out to FEMA. Oh my goodness. Let me ask you, someone in one of my comments made a suggestion. I'm wondering what you guys think of it. But I haven't heard of anyone saying whether you think that yeah, keep your power banks charged up. Um, Rhonda says no. Okay, no, people have to wait, Susie. Okay. Marta one says no, they had several PSAs that they would not be out until after the storm. Shelby says evacuate. Yep. Don says we live in North Carolina. This is the fourth time since '99 that we've been flooded in the state. 2 times for me personally. Yeah, Donald, his one property he was living at home was completely down by the river, completely flooded. It was just demolished, gone. So yeah. So Donald's been through it in North Carolina, but he left that particular area of North Carolina. He said one time was enough for me. I'm gone. So uh, intentional frugality says, I think. You think what? Yeah, that's Van Girl Show. That is a tough question, isn't it? And I'm having a lot of conflicted thoughts about it. You know, yeah, I'm having a lot of conflicted thoughts about it. Uh, and yeah, you did come back now, Donald. You did. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Um, International Frugality and Budgeting says, I think first responders should accept all the help from people from other states, especially the ones with private helicopters, to find survivors. I think so too. It needs to be kind of coordinated, but I think so too. But again, I'm just wondering, should they risk their lives? Now, one of my viewers did mention something. They said they think that any snowbirds that are from other areas like Minnesota, and areas that are North Dakota or wherever, that go to Florida and they're taking up spots and area, should not be allowed. They should cancel their reservations and put people in those spots in FEMA trailers and stuff who were displaced by the hurricanes, and not let people from out of the state, snowbirds, come who already have someplace else. They should say, we're canceling your reservations this season. What do you guys think about that? I was like, I mean, I kind of understand the reasoning behind that. What do you guys think? Sheila says, I'm not going back until before Thanksgiving and staying for Christmas at my sister's. Okay, all right. Hey, Debbie Johnson. Yeah, we're just about to head out. I know. I didn't mean to touch any buttons. I was just touching the bottom, just moving the thing up, and I don't know. What can I say? Um, Debbie Johnson says, I'm a first responder and I would never leave those who need me. Well, let me ask you this. Would you prioritize people who were in areas that they weren't told to leave first before you went to areas where people stayed that were told to evacuate? I know this is kind of a nuanced question, but where would you go first if you had to prioritize people, and you could, because it might not be possible to do that. Would you go first to areas where people, they weren't expected to flood and they got caught unawares, or would you go to the area where people flooded and they were told to evacuate? Yeah. I am so sorry. I am so sorry, Shelby. Why don't you start a GoFundMe? Maybe that could, people who lost things in the flood, but also do apply to FEMA. I've been told that FEMA is giving grants, you know. Um, he's in Eastern North Carolina, Sheila. That's all I'm going to say. Eastern North Carolina. Spirit Wind View says, answer, it would be difficult for a first responder to make that determination if the person was aware and made a conscious decision not to leave. A lot of liability there. Yeah, it's hard. But I would tell people, and I would say this to people who choose not to leave, you're not only putting your life in jeopardy, but you're putting the lives of others who don't deserve to be risked. You're putting their lives in jeopardy. That's what I would tell them, you know. Uh I did not see the FEMA interview with Glenn Beck. I'll have to check that out. I did not see that. Interesting, interesting. I like to look at all sources. Um yeah, the screen went blank. What can I say? That was a while back, Donald. I don't know. Uh okay. All right, Kaliana. I appreciate that. I can respect that. Yeah, it's a hard question to answer. It's a very hard question to answer. Um Yeah. Yeah, I will do a video then, Deb, on what should be in a go bag. I'm going to do that, but I first got to finish this video that I'm still doing the finishing touches on for Monday about the most dangerous place, I think, for solo female nomads and travelers. Um yeah, I would imagine you are mentally stressed, Shelby. I would imagine. Oh my goodness. It's there are a lot of people right now who are homeless because of this. It's horrible. Horrible. In Western North Carolina. Okay. All right. Um, um, Deb says, I would like to see what you would put in your survival bag. I will. I'll let you know what I have in my survival bag. I will do that. I will. Margaret says, some people are stuck when they're living and need to reevaluate their situations. I'm 84 years old. My niece wanted me to move to New Mexico. That's a hard decision. I think, though, if I was in Florida, I think I would have to reconsider. I do believe I would, especially if I was like on one of those barrier islands. They were showing houses on the barrier islands that people were rebuilding for the fourth time. And they showed one house that was under construction from a hurricane and that it got destroyed again while it was under construction. I just don't think I have it in me to go through something that many times. You know, some people do. I just don't think that I do. I just don't. I couldn't. I don't think. Miss Net says, if you stay solely because you want to protect your property against vandalism, then no, you shouldn't expect to be immediately rescued. Every person that I saw interviewed that talked about staying, not one of them talked about vandalism. They were talking about they thought they could, I guess shutter their houses or they just wanted to be with their house, but not one of them talked about vandalism. That wasn't the case. I was surprised, but not one of them said that. Some of them said they're so stubborn. Some said it was too inconvenient. Some said, they just didn't think it would be that serious. Some said they're Floridians. They're used to hurricanes. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons, but I didn't hear not one say because of vandalism. Now, that's something, had they had their house vandalized before, that's something I wouldn't agree to stay, but I could understand it. But not one said that. Not one that I saw, at least. Maybe some of you saw something. Um, Oh yeah, no, Shelby, no one was LOL at your situation. Oh please, no, absolutely not. They were probably LOL at me kicking myself. If you've been here on a regular basis, you would know that it's not unusual for me to touch a button and kick myself off, and everyone's already always there. She goes again. So that's what probably, if someone was laughing, they were laughing at was me. But no, absolutely no one in this live would be laughing at someone who's having a serious hardship. Absolutely not. Sheila says, I've been homeless since 11/16/23 when the apartment I was living in sold. So I left Delaware, the best decision I ever made. Yeah, a lot of people are one sale of a home or an apartment building or one increase away from being homeless, especially older women. It's just a pandemic, it seems. Um, um, let's see. Uh, looking well. All right, I am going to be heading out. It's 4:10, and Jessica's going to be coming back shortly with her little friend. Um, Um, Juliana says, I need a go bag on the ready, even though I'm not a nomad. Yeah, it's nothing about being a nomad. It's everyone needs a go bag with some supplies. And I also want to do a video because I get a lot of people asking me, well, I live in a van. How can I possibly have any supplies stored in a van? And I want to do a video showing you some ways that you can do that. Because I mean, clearly you're not going to be able to have as many supplies or preps in a van as you would in a house or an apartment, you know, or especially a house where you might have a garage or something else. But you'd be surprised at how many and how you can do it. And I'm going to show you that. Hey, Patty. Oh, you were asking about Lindy. I saw your email. I just hadn't had a chance to respond. If you go onto Lindy's site, any of her videos and hit the more and then scroll down to about and hit about, she has an address there where you can send her a donation directly if you want to. Patty, you were asking me about that, but yeah, you can send it directly. She has her address where she picks up her mail, and she's going to be released from the senior citizen center this week coming up, and at her son's, and I'm sure her son will be picking up her mail for her. So yeah, just go on to any of her videos and hit more in the description, and then go down at the bottom and you'll see about. Hit about and scroll down, and you'll have an address you can send something to her if you choose to. I think yeah, I think people are confused about the Bucks in New Orleans. uh, oh, Patty, it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday, Patty. Happy birthday to you. I'm not going to sing because I'll shut the place down if I sing. But happy birthday, Patty, and um, many more happy ones. Uh, all right, 71st birthday. Oh my goodness, you're the same age as me now, at least for a few months. Oh my goodness. Uh yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, there should have been a lot of lessons learned from Katrina that don't they may have learned them, but I don't know that they necessarily apply them. But I think finally, with this thing, Helene, they are applying some. I hope so, Annie and Spence. I just hope so. I don't know. I don't know. You know. Uh, Intentional frugality and budgeting says, I don't have a go bag. I would just stay at home and stick it out. Well, hopefully, if you stay at home, you have some preps, especially water, food, and a way to communicate or at least hear what's going on. Because, it's really important to have a way to communicate. And that's why I said the ham radio or a crank radio of some sort, because otherwise you won't know what's going on and you won't know if something's happening that might be a danger that you need to evacuate. So absolutely, at least if you're going to stay home, just have some things that will help you to be able to stay there safer. Uh yeah, Sheila says I wouldn't leave my cats or dogs. Remember, you're an animal rescuer. Yeah, it's a tough decision. It is a tough decision. All right. Uh Rock says they were fortunate at High Point in the city, so no flooding, and the couple trees that came down didn't damage the houses. That is very lucky, very fortunate. And I see Jessica's here, so I am going to be heading out. I know. Oh, okay. Rhonda says she has cages so her animals can go. Okay. Uh, Sheila says, since I've gone to Lulu meetups, I've met friends in many of these two states. I suggest going to meetups, going to courtside especially, going to different meetups and meeting people. And in courtside, you stay there for a month or longer, you're going to meet so many people, and and having a group of people that you can even travel with, that you can call and say, hey, if they're nearby, well, let's travel together. Let's safety in numbers. And I've met so many people in Quartzsite that are now, and at meetups, that are really good friends now. All right. All right. Oh, there's finally gas in South Carolina, Rox is saying. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. All right. Well, folks, I've got to go. If there's anyone, hey, Graham's in the house. Hello, hello from Black Butt, Queensland, Australia. Everyone was asking about you, Graham. Glad. Vaughn says your ears are burning, Graham. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, Margaret, you do have to be careful when evaluating advice and the source of that advice. The best thing is to go directly to the source that you're wondering about, in terms, if you want to know about FEMA, or if you want to know about the county government, or if you want to know about something, go directly to that source and get your information directly from them, from the horse's mouth, as they used to say. That really is the best way to do it. All right. Well, I am going to, if anyone, I know I'm missing all kinds of comments, but if anyone, Deb says dealing with fight or flight response. Yeah. Yeah. All right. If anyone, my email address is gloriouslifeonwheels@gmail.com. If you go into one of my videos, it should be on there. But thank you, Lisa, for dropping that. If anyone is their first time in the house, would you please put a number 1 so I can acknowledge you? And if you're a content creator, would you put a big C? And would my moderators please? Yep, I met Lisa at Quartzsite. I sure did. I absolutely did. And I met Judy in Quartzsite. And I met a lot of folks in Quartzsite. All right, Outdoor-Travels is one of my moderators and has a channel. Go over and check her out and give her some love. Margaret Herrick, first time in the house. Well, welcome. Globies, you know how we do. We welcome our newbies. Welcome, Margaret. And Shelby Van Gogh, you have a content. Okay, well, that sounds like, you can get maybe your channel going. Shelby Van Gogh is a content creator. Dog Dude, first time in the house. Well, welcome, Dog Dude. Welcome. I'm a dog girl, so what can I say? Nora doesn't have a channel, but she has the most beautiful, beautiful artwork you ever want to see on her site on her Etsy at artworkbynora.etsy.com. There's her link. Vaughn's on a roll as a content creator. Liza is a content creator. Oh my goodness, Liza. You'll have to hit me up and let me know more about Liza. Is Nora's niece. Oh my goodness. All right. Boomer in the Burbs is a content creator. Let's see, anywhere else. Shelby says she wants to go to Quartzsite in January. Well, I'll be there in January, so I'll see you if you're there. There's Shelby's channel. Thank you, Lisa, for dropping that. Thank you. Everyone go over and subscribe to Shelby and give her some love, and everyone else on here who's a content creator. My channel on all socials is Liza Beckerman. Okay, Liza. Thank you, Liza. Instagram, I'll check you out. All right, trying YouTube also. All right, Liza. All right, give me a call or give me or email me and we'll talk. Annie and Spence, content creators. Outdoor-Travels is a content creator. I think I said that. Liza's channel. Thank you, Lisa, for dropping Liza's channel. And anyone else? All right, Annie and Spence. All right, we're about to head on out of here. I see my girl is over here, and it's been a week, hasn't it? Oh, Boomers, thank you for dropping Boomers channel. Thank you. All right, everyone. Shelby, it's going to get better, Shelby. It will get better. I tell you. And you're going to look back on this one day and say, thank you, God, for getting me through that hell of a situation. All right, Annie's channel. Thank you for sharing Annie's channel. All right. Thank you, Shelby. Thank you. Great. Took a screenshot. That's smart. All right. Love each and every one of you. Hope your journeys are filled with joy and blessing. Check out the video that I dropped earlier today, and I'm going to be dropping one Monday. You don't want to miss this one because I'm telling you, you're going to be surprised, I think, at the place that I'm going to tell you that I think is very dangerous, and you need to be with your head absolutely on a swivel when you go there. All right. Love you all. And I will be, we are one big caring family, aren't we, Miss Net? We are, we are. All right. I'll see you, Kuliana, and I will hopefully maybe meet up with you one of these days and all of you. All right. Let me see if I can't exit without. Now, when I want to exit, I can't. But when I don't, I can kick myself off. Isn't that something? I tell you. I tell you.